Hey friends, if it's been a while since you've had a real sit-down dinner, the kind where everyone pauses, connects, and just enjoys a great meal together, you're not alone. But that's why I'm here. My mission is to bring those moments back with simple, affordable meals that anybody can make. In today's video, I'm sharing 3 of my family's favorite weeknight dinners. Cozy, crowd-pleasing recipes made with a few smart shortcuts and a whole lot of heart. I'm also sharing how I meal plan for when it's just the 2 of us, a creamy potato salad that you're going to want all summer long, plus a fun new way I've been using my new crock pot that might just surprise you. I'm Mel, welcome home. I really poured my heart into this video and I hope it blesses your table. Lazy enchilada casserole. I love this recipe and I have not made it in a really long time. First thing we're going to do is get the oven preheated to 400 degrees. This casserole uses fairly inexpensive, just grocery store ingredients here. Now, I prefer the beef and cheese when I'm making this little casserole here, but you can use the chicken. And these are pretty good taquitos. I'll put a picture up here of our very favorite ones. We're sort of connoisseurs of them. And these are a little bit bigger. This one said it has 15 large taquitos, and they are stuffed a little bit more than what you would get normally in this brand. So need about a 9x13 casserole dish. I was just making sure before I get started here that I have a good size casserole dish. Because, like I said, normally these are not this big, but this is a perfect dish. So now I'm going to put these back in the box and we'll get started. The reason I wanted to make sure that all of my little taquitos would fit in here is because I'm going to take a can of refried beans and spread it on the inside along the bottom of my casserole dish. And I'm just using a 16-ounce can. I get these at Aldi. I've had this and the low-fat ones. I think it's low-fat or no-fat. They're both delicious, but hey, use whatever you've got over in your pantry or whatever brand that you like. But I definitely wanted to make sure before I smushed all these beans down in here that I had the right size dish. It'd be just like me to get all of this spread in here and all of my taquitos not fit. Sounds like a typical kind of problem I would have here, don't it? And if you don't have any refried beans, or if your family doesn't like them, you don't have to do this. You can just put a little enchilada sauce down in the bottom of this. I've made it like that before. But I do like me some refried beans. Now I'm going to get my taquitos back out. Just going to line them up all across here. And I've also used burritos, just frozen burritos. Haven't thawed them out or pre-cooked them or anything. I've used them in this dish before. With 15 of them, we're going to have an odd number on one end, but that's perfectly fine. I'm using a 19-ounce can of red enchilada sauce, and very carefully I dropped it. We're going to throw it all over the place. Oh my gosh, I did. It's everywhere. Well, it was slick down the side because I had a hard time opening this can. This is real life here. This is what happens when you're too hungry to cook. We're just going to take a spoon and bring it over here. Then I'll have a big mess to clean up. Oh my gosh. My can opener is going in the trash right now. That thing was so aggravating. I like to never got that can opened, and then I threw it everywhere because it had sauce all down the side. Anyway, what I was going to say, friends, was cover everything with some enchilada sauce. I used a 19-ounce can, minus what's on the top of my stove right here. Minus about that much, so I may be a little bit short. I like red enchilada sauce. If you want green, you can use that. But I think we've talked about this before. Sometimes green chilies and the green sauces trigger a migraine for me. And you could definitely put you some green chilies over the top of this if you want to. All right, I'm just gonna wipe the enchilada sauce off of my dish here. I think I got a little bit down the side right here. And we're gonna put this in a 400-degree oven for 20 minutes. I didn't put my cheese on there yet. We'll pull that out in a minute. And while it's baking up, I guess I'll clean up this big old mess that I made. After 20 minutes, oh so carefully, remove it from the oven. I'm gonna sprinkle about 2 cups of cheese over the top of this. I'm using a Mexican blend of cheese, but hey, whatever you have is fine. Cheddar, just whatever you've got. Get the top of this all nice and covered. I just prefer to melt my cheese at the very end. I don't want it to get, burnt or anything. Before my little taquitos are cooked. Well, that went nice and without incident. Let's put it back in the oven. And we're just gonna cook it for about 5 more minutes, just until that cheese is nice and melted. While that cheese is melting on the top of that little casserole, I'm gonna cut up a couple of green onions. I like to use the green and the white part. There's nothing any tastier to me on top of a casserole like this than some green onions. If you had a little fresh cilantro, now that would be really good on top of this. And I really love just a little fresh lime wedge anytime I have a Tex-Mex meal. And I realize this is in no way an authentic Mexican or even a Tex-Mex dish. This is just a quick and easy meal. It's perfect to throw together in the summer, like maybe you've been out on the lake all day or you've been at games, baseball games and stuff. Get home, you can put this together so quick. And really, it's great any time of year. You got football practice in the fall and that kind of stuff. This is a great meal for a night like that. So quick and easy. And just like that, supper is done. All right.
We're ready to try it.
Let's try it out. Easy peasy taquito cheddar enchiladas.
Oh man, that's good.
I love them.
Didn't take you long to make it either.
No, it's really quick little recipe. It's like one of them semi-homemade, just using grocery store ingredients, but it is perfect. Like you've been out mowing all day, I've been working all day, come home, get in here and just put this together so quick.
It's very good, Mom. I squeeze a little bit of that lime on it. It's good.
Yeah, I like lime on anything Tex-Mexy like that. I think it's good. Isn't it saucy enough?
Yeah.
I lost a little bit of sauce there.
Yeah, I think you saved enough.
Hey, if that's the worst thing that happens to us today, I think we're doing all right.
Very good.
Tonight I'm pulling out an old favorite we haven't had in a long time. We're gonna make us some 4-ingredient Caesar chicken. First thing I'm gonna do is get my oven preheated to 375 degrees. I'm gonna give my little casserole dish just a little spray with some non-stick. Honestly, I don't know what size this is. It's really deep, as you can see, but it's like long and skinny. Probably a 9x13 would work. I have no idea, but you want 4 chicken breasts to fit in there. I've got 4 boneless, skinless chicken breasts. You want these to be about the same thickness. I'm calling mine good. You could put them under some plastic or something if you needed to pound them out and make them about the same thickness. You can cut them in half if you need to. When I have really large chicken breasts, that's what I do with mine. I'm just putting some black pepper on them, no salt because this is gonna be salty enough without it. Now I've got me a little bit of Parmesan cheese, the good old grated green can kind. This one has Parmesan and Romano in it. And I'm gonna use about half a cup on this side. We're gonna end up doing both sides of our chicken, but you really want this cheesy flavor. And like I said, this is our salt right here, and our Caesar dressing is really gonna give this some salt. Now I'm gonna put my breast over into my little casserole dish here. Gonna put it seasoned side down. And you guys ask about these casserole dishes a lot. These red ones, I have this one, and I have one that's also like a square shaped. I got these years ago at Belk. The brand is called Cook's Tools. Now let's season this side. I got them on clearance. You know me. I didn't pay a lot for them, and I love them. I also got some more at Belk at the same time. I'm going to use a little bit of that cheese that came off my plate here. And I forgot, I did not use a half a cup. I'm using about a third a cup of Parmesan cheese on each side. Anyway, like I was saying, I got some other ones at the same time, and they're like a teal blue, and they have sort of a floral pattern on the inside. They're white and a floral teal blue on the inside. And those were they look like Temptations, if you've ever seen the Temptations cookware on QVC and places. But these were I can't remember the name of it. When I get my hands clean, I'll look it up and I'll put it on the screen for you. I'll also put you a picture or some footage of those in here. I got them on clearance too. I got a great big deep oval one, and one that's probably 11 by 17, and one that's like a 9 by 13, but I love them. And these little dishes right here, I get asked about them all the time. I have this little square one, and then I have like a big 9 by 13. This is called Highland Floral Oven and Back. I got these at Costco one day, so I'm sorry I can't give you links to any of the things that you love. My blue and white mixing bowls, I got those at Sam's years ago. But I do have a lot of things that are very similar in my Amazon storefront. So if you look there, I always have that in the description box or in the about section of my channel. You'll find stuff I use or stuff that's very similar that maybe I can't get for you anymore. Okay, back to our Caesar chicken. We're gonna make our saucy part. I'm using good old Ken's creamy Caesar dressing, and I love this. We're gonna use a cup of this. Now, if you don't like Caesar dressing, you're not gonna like Caesar chicken, but you could use ranch dressing, or you could use a creamy Italian, and you'd have ranch or creamy Italian chicken. But we really like it. Now, I also like to put in about a half a cup of sour cream into mine. I like the thickness that it gives it. You don't have to do this, not necessary at all. You could just have 3 ingredients, your dressing and your chicken and your cheese, but we like it. You could also use just a plain Greek yogurt. Just gonna get it all mixed together really well. I could do a whole video on stuff to do with bottled dressings. I love using bottled dressings in all kinds of recipes. Now, just as evenly as I can, I'm gonna pour this across my chicken breast. And this looks like a fair amount of sauce, and it is. But let me tell you what, you're gonna want it. It's delicious over mashed potatoes or rice, if you like rice. I'm not a fan of it, but that's how we like to serve it, over potatoes, and use this sauce like a gravy. You just wanna make sure that you get sauce all over everything and get it kind of patted on there and get it all coated. It really tenderizes the chicken, in my opinion. It comes out very tender. Gives it so much good flavor, and it keeps it so moist when it's cooking up, especially when you're using chicken breasts like this. And you could definitely use boneless, skinless chicken thighs, or, whatever kind of chicken you want. I bet this would be good on pork chops too, great big pork chops. And we're gonna bake this uncovered, 375 degrees for about 30 minutes. Make sure the internal temperature is 165 degrees on your chicken. Wait. I always forget something. Right here at the end, I get hungry and I'm ready to go. I like to sprinkle a little bit more Parmesan cheese across the top. Now, back in that oven, I just lost about 30 seconds or so. After 30 minutes, I like to broil mine from 2 to 4 minutes to get it nice and brown on the top. Then I pull it out, cover it with some aluminum foil, and I let it set for maybe 5 or 10 minutes. I really think it helps the meat finish on up and lets your sauce kind of get set up a little bit too. Only other thing I do is sprinkle on a little parsley just for some color. Guys, this is so juicy, so flavorful. This is a classic family favorite of ours around here. It's so easy, quick, very few ingredients, but honestly, it's like fancy date night dinner perfect. Let me know if you try it. I know you're gonna love it. Today, I'm gonna make like a big baked ziti. Starting out boiling my noodles. I'm using the whole recipe today. So I'm gonna boil up a pound, 16 ounces of penne. You can use rotini, spirals, spaghetti, use whatever pasta you like. I am using the whole grain kind. I buy this at Kroger's a lot and I think it's delicious and my family never says anything about a taste difference. I'm gonna boil this, according to the package directions, just about 9 minutes. Meanwhile, over here on my favorite stove I've got 1 pound of ground beef. Got that browning up and crumbling into little pieces. I'm also dicing up a small sweet onion. You're welcome to use Italian sausage or even breakfast sausage here, ground turkey, whatever you have on hand, whatever your family likes. Put it in with our ground beef to start softening it. Before I season up my meat, I'm gonna get any excess grease, just blot it up out of here with a paper towel. Now I'm gonna put in about 1/2 teaspoon of salt, 1/2 teaspoon of pepper, a teaspoon of garlic powder, a teaspoon of paprika, a teaspoon of Italian seasoning, and just about 1/4 teaspoon of red pepper flakes. Get all those seasonings stirred in and make sure your ground beef is cooked all the way through. Now let's put us in a good teaspoon of some minced garlic. Get all this stirred together. I'm gonna cut my heat down to kind of a low here now. Now we're gonna add in 2 24-ounce jars of pasta sauce. Use whatever you like. I'm using 1 jar of Classico roasted garlic and 1 jar of this roasted garlic sauce from Aldi. So if I didn't say, you need to start with a pan with really high sides. Waste not and want not. Let's get every last drop out of there. Let's go ahead and get our meat and our sauces all stirred together. And then we're gonna stir in 1/2 cup of heavy cream. Ain't that pretty? Let's get all this mixed together and then I'm gonna go ahead and turn the stove completely off. Now I've got my noodles drained off and I am just gonna pour my meat sauce right into this pot and let's get it all mixed together. This is a lot of food. I'm used to cooking half of recipes like this anymore, but we're gonna have everybody here today, so I get to cook family style. Now let's build this. I'm gonna spray a pretty deep 9x13 casserole dish with some nonstick spray. And now I'm scooping about half of my pasta and meat mixture over into the bottom of this casserole dish. Give it a little spreading out there. Now I've got a 15-ounce container of ricotta cheese. Probably don't need all this. Probably 12 ounces would be fine. But what am I going to do with just like 3 ounces of ricotta cheese in the fridge? So I think I'm just going to use it all. And I'm just dolloping it on here in little dollops. Whenever this cooks up, it'll spread out and get, in all the little nooks and crannies down in here. Now let's sprinkle some mozzarella, and I'm just putting about a cup of shredded mozzarella cheese here. Now I don't have to be quite so precise with my measurements because this is all I have left of my pasta and meat sauce. We're just gonna pour that on top. Give it a little spready spread. Now let's give it another cup of shredded mozzarella cheese right over the top. And since I have it on hand, I'm just gonna sprinkle, maybe a quarter cup of some shredded Parmesan on top of this. Now we're gonna bake this uncovered at 375 degrees for about 25 minutes. If you want to, you can turn it over to broil for the last few minutes. Just watch it real close to get your cheese nice and brown and not burnt. Pull this thing out. It is nice and piping hot. I like to sprinkle mine with just a little bit of parsley for some color. And the kids will be here in just about 30 minutes. I'm gonna spray some aluminum foil and put over the top of mine. May have to stick it back in and reheat it just a bit when they get here, but it's gonna be delicious. It had been a long time since we had a family dinner, so we had family lunch today, and it was absolutely delicious. The kids just got back from a cruise. If they'll send me a little footage, I'll put some of their fun cruise footage in here. They took Granny with them. But guys, this Ziti pleased everyone. What do y'all say? One thumbs up? One thumbs up or two? You only got one. That's right, you only got one thumb when you're eating. Love you all. Glad you liked it. Friends, I always say there's nothing wrong with using convenience items. Could I stand in here and make my own spaghetti sauce? Yes, I could. I've done it before, and even at that, mine is still a quick and easy homemade spaghetti sauce. But it was great just to get together, and I love being able to share some of these memories with you, and I love that I get to share some of the memories that my kids made with Granny when they took their little Bahamas cruise. She had a great time. This was her first ever cruise. She loved it. She's ready to go back, and the kids certainly enjoyed doting on her. They had coffee delivered to their cabin every morning for Granny. And I certainly enjoyed doting on my grand cat while they were gone. We had a fun week here taking care of her. She is so precious. Tonight, I'm going to show you one of my most infamous semi-homemade meals. We're going to have chicken patty sandwiches. Tonight, I'm using these Purdue chicken breast patties. We're also going to use a Tyson chicken breast patty. Patrick said he wanted two, and I was about out. I said this is infamous because like 20-something years ago, when I worked full-time outside of the home, me and my friend Debbie Whitehead would always be saying, what are we going to have for supper? She had 3 boys at the time. They were into everything. And I can't tell you the number of times that we walked next door to the grocery store at lunch and got bags of chicken patties. And it was always, what are we going to have fast? It's a chicken patty sandwich kind of night. So 20 minutes later, you got dinner. But we're going to put a little something more with this. I'm also going to fix this little box of Betty Crocker Suddenly Salad up. If you've never made a box of this Suddenly Salad, honey, you don't know what you're missing. We're going to fix it up just like the instructions say, but then let me show you how I doctor mine up just a little bit more. There ain't nothing like getting to be the one to get that first scoop out of a brand new jar of Dukes. Now, there's nothing wrong with eating it just like this, but I love to throw some veggies in. Some little broccoli florets here. I think that makes it pretty, gives it a little extra crunch. And we're a cucumber-loving family, so I always like to throw some cucumbers in mine. I also love grape tomatoes in it, but I'm not going to do that tonight. I don't have any, number one, and Patrick ain't crazy about the broccoli. He sure ain't crazy if I put tomatoes in it. He ain't crazy about that. Toss in a little shredded cheddar cheese, give it a little stir, and I always like to give it just a little bit of some bottled ranch dressing. Now, after this has set, maybe you pull it out another day. It's a great way to refresh the creaminess and give it a little extra, even added boost of flavor is that ranch dressing. There's a million different ways you can dress up these little chicken patty sandwiches, I prefer just classic with mayonnaise. And I don't know about you, but like when I have a bun with a burger or something, it has to be mayonnaise on the bottom, mustard on the top. I don't know why I don't like those switched out. But you have to let me know, are you like that? I'm going to just put a chicken patty and mayonnaise. That's what I like. And of course, yes, we love the Aldi red bag chicken on a chicken sandwich too. Patrick's got some cheese back here on his. Honey mustard or barbecue sauce is a great topping for these sandwiches. And when I make this meal, I always make sure and get the large can of Bush's baked beans. We love the country style. It's got extra brown sugar in it and rich, thick, sweet sauce with bacon. Because this meal, not only is it just quick, easy, and delicious in itself, the great part about this meal is we're going to think ahead with it. Because, you know, these same people we're feeding tonight, they're going to want to eat again this week. So let's repurpose this. Every time I buy a pack of buns, I'm always thinking, how are we going to eat all 8 of these? Most of the time I'm cooking for just 2 or maybe 3 people. And I hear that a lot from you guys too. It's hard to cook for just 2 people. Now, I can always use them up with like pork barbecue or sloppy joes. Tonight, we are going to make hamburgers. So I'm going to pull those sides I made forward and serve them with it. And I'm making my hamburgers in my Ninja Food Possible crockpot. It has a sear and saute function. I love this. You can do so many things in this crockpot. The sear saute was what really sold me on it, but I use it like a big electric skillet. Nothing is any better than a good old skillet fried hamburger, but it throws grease all over your stove and kitchen. This pot is wonderful to fry these hamburgers down inside of it. It's just like a big electric skillet to me. The only problem I have is filming with this thing because it's so tall. I have to pitch you up really high to see down in here. And I like to season my burgers with this wood-fired garlic seasoning from Kinder's. Has everything I love on a burger. Salt, onion, garlic, spices. It's got some chili pepper, some paprika. What I really like, especially using it inside, is it's got a natural smoky flavor. So these are gonna have a little hint of smoke, like maybe they were grilled outside. You can see there's like literally no grease has popped out here. Everything's right down in here. And this is the easiest cleanup. And see, Patrick's cheesing our burgers. They're done. And you can just put the little lid right on there and let our cheese melt. Tonight, not only are we going to pull our beans and our pasta salad back out, I decided to make some potato salad. So I've got 2 potatoes coming up to a boil here. I had 2 eggs, and that was all. Got those boiling. Let me go ahead and turn them off. And I set my timer for 19 minutes. And I do have this stove eye off. I just leave them covered and I let them sit here like that for 19 minutes. Then I'll peel them. And the potatoes, for reference, I got these huge potatoes last week or week before. And the potatoes I'm using are out of that bag. Not quite as big as those 2, but I got them boiling, got the egg boiling. Also, for my potato salad, I want a little bit of sweet onion in it. So I'm just going to chop up a little bit of this. And this is just going to be a real classic Southern potato salad, not really measuring stuff out, just kind of going by feel with it. I don't have any celery. That's really good in potato salad if you like celery. And I'm going to go ahead and slice up a little bit of purple onion. We've got this for our burgers, and I can't wait to show you how I'm going to make our burgers. Something I almost forgot is that you definitely want to salt your water before your potatoes get to cooking. That is just the best way to get the flavor into your potatoes. And I left my skins on. I don't mind skin on my potatoes. And sometimes people will just cook their potatoes whole and kind of chunk them up afterwards. I just went ahead and diced mine up. I scrubbed them real good since I'm leaving the skin on. Went ahead and diced them. I've got my potatoes all drained off, and a little tip to make sure your potatoes are good and dry is get you a strainer like this that has like a little hook. You can set it back down in your pot and just set it back off the stove eye, but over your pot, and it'll really dry your potatoes on out. I've got my eggs all peeled up here, and some people just like to slice their eggs and put them on top of their potato salad, but I like to get me some egg all throughout it. So I'm just gonna give them a rough little chop here. All right, let's get to it. This bowl is incredibly too large for this, but it's what was clean, so that's what we're going with. See, my potatoes are still kind of warm. Let me tell you something crazy. Mayonnaise, a lot. Southern tater salad needs a lot of mayonnaise. I'm using Duke's. Use whatever you like. The crazy thing I was going to tell you is that potato salad is really good warm. Mustard, little bit there. My mother-in-law, she makes a killer, and I mean killer, potato salad. I need to have her make it for us one day. Sweet relish, couple big spoonfuls. And let's go ahead and give it one little mix here. But anyway, she was the one that told me, she said, oh, I like potato salad when it's warm. I don't like it as much whenever it is cool. I have never had potato salad any way but cold. I used way too much mayonnaise and mustard. I'm not used to making a little amount of this. I'm gonna have to boil me another potato, I think. But anyway, it's delicious whenever it's warm. Let me know if you've ever had potato salad warm. Put my onion in. Real life here, friends. It's real life. It is hard to make small amounts. We say this all the time, so I just put me another potato in here to cook up. Let's go ahead and give this a little finish off, and then we'll add it in. I'm gonna put in a little bit of onion powder, and I like to put just a little bit of apple cider vinegar, maybe one little capful. I didn't even have a whole cap there. I put that in my deviled eggs too. Now we'll get this mixed up and just wait for our last potato, and we'll add our eggs in at the end too. Now we'll fold in the rest of our potatoes, and now we're probably gonna need more mayonnaise. You see, it's a vicious cycle. Let's give it a little taste before we put our eggs in. A little bit more relish. And just a smidgen more mayonnaise. Oh, another little squirt of mustard. Now let's put our eggs in. Looks like I'm going to end up with enough to fill this bowl after all. I always like to add a little paprika right at the end and get some of it stirred in. Give it a little taste and make sure all those seasonings are to my liking. Guys, we have a yummy little spread tonight. Got all of our burgers here, plenty enough for Maddie to have one when she gets home. If Patrick doesn't eat two tonight, he'll have one tomorrow for lunch. Our yummy Southern style potato salad. It is creamy, it's tangy, it is so delicious. Love the eggs and the pickles in it. And here's our leftover beans and our leftover pasta salad. Moving it right along to eat again this week. Some other good things that you can do with leftover baked beans is to cut up some hot dogs or sausages in it and make you some homemade beanie weenies. There's some bacon in there. And I like to take this pasta salad and add in some canned tuna or maybe some leftover grilled chicken or even cut up chicken tenders and make that go even a little bit further. There's lots of ways to use up our leftovers when we're cooking for just two people. We just have to get creative sometimes. If you liked this video, I know you're going to love this one. Check it out next. And thank you so much for spending some of your time here with me. I don't ever take that choice for granted. I'll see you over there. And until then, I send you love from my kitchen.